It's got same starters tonight or today.
No, we're gonna. Alex Lynn is gonna start tonight in place of Rolo, just to give us a different look. Give maybe Rolo some more opportunities to get some post touches against the bench.
And when it comes to evaluating statistical trends for your team, overall trends, how do you look at it? Because obviously there's been so many different phases you guys have gone through this season where maybe the stats don't apply to the big picture.
Yeah, I mean it's hard. It's hard because we haven't had a rhythm until the last week. We feel like, at least I feel like I'm coaching an NBA during an NBA season. We've had practices, we've had games, we've had travel, we've had home games, we've had some ups, we've had some downs, but now I feel good. I think now, the last 4 games to me is a fair assessment of what we're going to look like going forward and things that we can tweak and improve on. We definitely got to have a better start, and also we got to have a better closing quarters too. We haven't been able to close the quarters in the first quarter particularly, and it's been evident for a while now. But I think we have a chance to really see what we can become during this next stretch of a bunch of games.
Ava?
Scott, kind of on that note, as a coach, is it hard not to second guess yourself when your team is getting off to slow starts? Like, how do you not overreact and say, like, well, I need to totally course correct? How do you figure out that, like, the right amount of correction there?
I think coaches always second guess themselves, and that's what we do. If it doesn't work, we always, I wish we'd have tweaked it here or changed it here. But I think now we can really fairly judge what we're doing and see what things that we can do better. With the change in the starting lineup is another little tweak that can hopefully get us to a better start. Not that it was Rolo's fault, but I think he gives us a little bit more stability and going into late in the quarters. And with him being able to post up, second line players, I think it can help us kind of settle us down at times. But I like the fact that we're back to being a whole team, and we're going to keep improving. I feel comfortable with what we have, and don't like obviously our record, but I think the last 4 games we're 2-2. We have a chance to come out and play better than we played last game tonight or this afternoon.
And Will see any minutes today?
Yes, he's back. He had a great workout yesterday with some guys that haven't played, but he's back to playing, and he's going to help. He's a feisty competitor that can help our defense, can help our 3-point defense. He knows, he sees it, he's experienced, and he makes shots. So don't know how many minutes he's going to be able to handle, but I think he's going to get a good look, and hopefully gives us a little a spark off the bench.
Chris Miller?
Scotty, you guys have won just 2 games with Russell starting. Are you still trying to figure him out? He's still trying to figure you guys out. Like, how do you see kind of him just being integrated this season?
Well, it's been with his injury, kind of put us behind, and he wasn't himself the first month, and then the shutdown for us, and then guys coming in and out. Obviously we're going to get a better version of all of us now we have some consistency and some continuity. We haven't played well, or we haven't finished. I wouldn't say we haven't played well. We haven't finished well with our guys early in the season. But Russell's a good player. He's going to continue to improve as his game is going to continue to get better. But I think we're struggling. We're struggling making shots, and we're struggling of stopping the ball at times. The last, particularly end of quarters, it's something that I'm really trying to figure it out and focus on. But I think he's going to obviously help us in a big way throughout the season.
I want to ask you really quick about LaMelo. It's amazing to see the game against Utah where he can have such success offensively and not turn the basketball over. What are you seeing in your film study with this young man?
Extremely high-level passer, playmaker, loves the game. You can just see it. Outstanding. He was raised the right way on the basketball court, how he plays. And even his brother, the same way, man. They play to win. And you can criticize all you want about, his dad and this and that. I've said it a few years ago. I'm impressed that, I didn't have a father growing up. It's kind of nice when you have somebody. I wish I would have had a dad that was overly protective and involved, but he's done a great job of raising those two guys to play the right way. And what I've seen the last few games, and he's making shots now. So, but his passing, his length, he's big. I don't know. I think he's 6'8". This would be my first time seeing him in person, but he's very impressive, and his future is extremely bright. He could be an all-star pretty soon.
Thanks, Scotty.
Thank you.
Sam?
Hey, Coach, just curious your impressions of Gordon Hayward's play so far this year. What makes him such a tough cover defensively?
Well, I think, when you have an injury like he had, and it's hard to come back. And sometimes it takes a few years. If you put the right work into it, it's physically you're back, but sometimes, it even takes another step or half a season or so to get back mentally. He's back. This guy he's a hard cover, and he can put it on the floor. He's triple threat. He can put it on the floor. He can make plays. He can shoot threes. He gets to the free throw line. He attacks the basket. He's a strong athlete that, he's another, potential all-star player. He was in the past, and you definitely can see him becoming one in the future, how he plays. And I think his confidence level and they are confident with him on the floor.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Scott, when you talked about last game not coming to the game prepared physicality-wise, what do you say to the team afterwards to try and correct that?
Keep it PG.
Or not.
We have to play better. We got to prepare. We got to be focused. We got to lock in. We got to know the game. The opponent. We got to get back in transition. I had a great film session with Rui and Danny yesterday. Just the three of us. How important it is to be focused on the personnel. Be focused on your job and just keep working. This is about. When you have a young front line, you got to get them to realize that every minute is important, and you can make some mistakes, but it can't be mistakes of not running back and matching up. But we're going to definitely get a better version of those two guys. I feel confident into this afternoon's game. But we definitely had to play better. We knew Miami was going to come back. They were pissed off that we beat them, and we didn't respond with the physicality, but we didn't have the mental approach going into that after we did beat them the night before.
Christos?
Hello, Coach. What did you see from Alex Len's last games so far in the season, and how important for you is to slow down players like LaMelo, like Terry Rozier and Gordon Hayward?
Yeah, I think his game is getting better. I think he didn't play a lot in Toronto for whatever reasons. It's not a concern to me, but we have him, and it's taken him a while to get back into game shape. But big guys, if they don't play, it's hard to manufacture the conditioning that you need. He wasn't in bad shape, but he wasn't in great shape. But I think now you're seeing a better version of him. He's going to get the start tonight, not just because he played well last night. We need to change things up and kind of shuffle the lineup a little bit. But I like his ability to finish around the rim. I think he can be a pretty good three-point shooter in the corner. And his free throws, I think, can get better, but it's not bad. Defensively, he can be a rim protector. His verticality is pretty good. He's big. It's hard to shoot over. Those three guards are going to be hard. They're really, Charlotte has really good, talented guards that can put the ball on the floor and they shoot. They're playmakers. They're shot makers. We're going to have to be locked in at a lot of different spots tonight.
All right, great. Thank you, Coach.